many of our guests are recurring guests with expertise in many areas. So one of them that joins us all the time is Fernando Uribe. And Fernando joins us today from the Garden State, New Jersey. Hey, Fernando, how are you?
John, good afternoon. Thanks for having me back.
So, Fernando, I hope you and the family are doing well.
We're doing outstanding. We're taking it a day at a time. Stay sane, John, during this crazy pandemic as we hit May.
Got it. So, Fernando, Frank and I was talking a little earlier about how there's this scattershot approach to the reopen with all the different governors, different interpretations, and stuff like that. In New Jersey, I would think a lot of the revenue that the state relies on is tourism, with people coming down the Jersey Shore and stuff like that. How important is it in your state to get these people back to work?
Well, it's monumentally important, John, and I know that this past Saturday morning, the governor opened up all the state parks and the golf courses, respectively, throughout New Jersey. We know that county parks were also at the discretion of the county executives, and they were also open. And we know that, as you just alluded to, as the weather's getting warmer, people want to be outside. People want to go down to the shore. So many of those businesses down in central South Jersey depend on this economy. And regardless of, many people taking to the streets, protesting at the state capitol in Trenton, taking to social media, again, the jury's still out as to what's going to happen with this, John. We don't know if there's going to be a spike in cases overall, but I know that the governor, for all of his bad policies that I have disagreed with, I know that for the last couple of months now, the governor has been viewed very positively here in New Jersey because of his leadership and what he's doing. And we'll find out what happens again in the next few weeks as the weather gets warmer. We'll see more and more people. We saw it this weekend on YouTube. So many people out on the beaches, at the parks. Again, some of them practicing responsible social distancing, some of them not. And that's a little frustrating because if we want to sort of flatten out this curve, people need to be cooperative, John.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. But it sure looks like to me that little by little, small businesses are going to start being allowed to open in some capacity. And I think the economy's never going to get turned back on until somebody sticks up for the little man. I mean, the government gave away so far $600-700 billion to supposed small businesses, and the little man has seen very little trickle down to him, especially independent type contractors, hairstylists, salons, all kinds of different people that work for themselves, independent contractors. They need to get back to work because that's the heartbeat of America, if you ask me.
Absolutely. And I know that here where I live in Hudson County and nearby Bergen County, so many small businesses, specifically restaurants, took to social media this weekend to remind everybody that this coming weekend, Sunday, is Mother's Day. So guess what? A lot of them are hoping that us, the customers, will be ordering food since we won't be able to go out and celebrate Mother's Day in sort of the traditional manner that we've always been able to do so. And that, again, as you mentioned, is the lifeline of our economy, John. I'm hoping that these small businesses can somewhat thrive as states begin to reopen. But I don't see it completely here in New Jersey, John, until at least sources I talk to at the state level tell me that somewhere between maybe early to mid-June is probably the earliest when New Jersey might even explore trying to reopen the state. And for a lot of small businesses, that could be catastrophic.
That's for sure. I mean, knowing what I know all around the country, a lot of businesses, especially seasonal places where tourism is big, they rely on that Memorial Day weekend to Labor Day as their whole revenue for the year. And we see, the markets are volatile right now, but a lot of what the markets are looking at is, are people going to start getting back to work? Because a lot of the progress we've seen in the market of late is really just government intervention, government just pumping more and more money into supporting market levels, but the small businesses got to start moving again.
Absolutely, John. And the idea that we want to be home collecting a check and not contribute to the economy is an absolute farce. I know that some on the left want to sort of convey that policy and perhaps enact it permanently, but that's not sort of free market capitalism, and it's not what's going to get this economy going again, as you just mentioned. And again, we've seen different states opening up in the last 48 to 72 hours.
Thank God.
John, I don't know what's going to happen in New York or New Jersey, but for a lifeline of the economy that is New York, for example, where you are, This needs to happen somewhat soon, but again, with some sort of restraint and some sort of responsible policy too.
Yeah, I mean, I made the point that, look, if we want to get back to normalcy, we have to take it one step at a time. And one step is going out, using social distancing, but also being responsible. Don't just, start throwing parties with thousands of people, because one outbreak could cause this whole thing to happen again. I think a lot of people are recognizing that. Fernando, you're a professor a faculty member over at Bergen Community College. I know the campus is closed. Here in New York, they've said they're going to keep schools closed through the end of the year. What are the outlooks? What are you hearing as far as kids actually being back on campus come September?
Well, John, I've talked to different people that I know at various colleges and universities throughout the state of New Jersey, not just where I work at Bergen Community College in Paramus, but throughout the state. And there's a legitimate concern right now as to whether or not students even want to enroll come the fall semester. We know that some of them are struggling right now during the spring semester. It's about to come to a close. I know that because I'm grading sort of take-home finals and online assignments. But for the fall, John, I think a legitimate concern, especially for parents, they have to make a decision as to A, whether or not they're going to want to pay tuition, and B, even room and board. And this is sort of a monumental sort of choice that students and their families have to make now in the coming months. Not just for, let's say, seniors who are hoping to graduate in May of 2021, which, as we all know, the seniors this year will not have a commencement ceremony. But this is a real concern as to enrollment taking a serious dip.
No doubt about it. All right, Fernando, we're working with a new clock. We're new network today. We're knocking out some technical issues, but thank you for joining us today, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. You and the family stay safe.
Thank you for your time, John. Everyone stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you. That's Fernando Uribe. He's the host of Politically Direct on InsiderNJ.com. He's also a faculty member at Bergen Community College, and a great friend of the show. You're going to hear from Fernando every single Monday. He's got a heartbeat of not only what's happening in politics, but what's happening on the campus. And we're going to have a heartbeat on what's happening with business news and markets. And the news with the booze continues right after this.